Your editing, your designing skills, your personality, and your content means nothing. And let me tell you why. A lot of creators think if they get the best editor possible, if they get the best video possible, the best thumbnail possible, they can succeed as a creator. But that is just utterly false. If you make one great video and then not upload for the next 6 months, your channel is going to fail and all your viewers are going to forget you after your video. Even if it blows up, your next video is going to be a huge flop and maybe a few hundred people will see it, but it will flop. And you have to start with yourself. If you want to succeed as a creator, you need to start by figuring out yourself and where you want to be in the future. You need to fix yourself from the inside and understand the foundational skills that you need, for example, like consistency, discipline, and accountability. And this course is going to get you started on that, and it's not going to feed you some bullshit that other people are telling you you need. Here we go. Welcome to the content creation course. And this is the first episode. I'm glad you decided to tune in. Over the next few coming days, weeks, I don't know how often I'll be publishing videos. I'll be publishing videos around content creation, the fundamentals, and how you can succeed as a creator in today's age. There's a lot of creators that blindly go into it without learning about the fundamentals or like solving issues they have before even starting content creation, which is something to do with their mindset. The way they solve problems, they further start their channel. There's many things they need to figure out before even starting a channel and uploading to begin with. That has to do with everything from accountability to consistency to discipline. You have to invest either your money or your time to actually even grow a channel, because if you don't have the time to sit down and even edit a video or even produce a high quality video, then if you don't have time or money, then there is a problem. Because you need to invest time into your YouTube channel. You need to put time into making your videos. And if you don't have money for an editor, and then you need to make it yourself. And if you don't spend enough time to maybe upload a video every 2 weeks, well, then your audience is going to forget you. Your audience is going to forget who you are, why they even started watching you. It is just like they're not going to be able to get used to watching you consistently because you just don't upload consistently. It's like you don't have consistent growth. There is no marketing for your channel. There's so many things I learned over the past 6 years in content creation. For example, this year I started my business and I realized that content creation is very similar to running a business. A lot of the things that you have to learn for business, for example, how to market your product, how to even make your product attractive, what type of gap does your product fill, for example, like what issue does your product solve, and all that other stuff. There's so much you need to learn about content creation, and all of that, or most of the stuff I learned from business very much aligns with content creation. And before you can start succeeding as a creator, if you don't have the mindset that I just spoke about, for example, you can't hold yourself accountable to your goals. You cannot pinpoint problems that you have with your content creation or with your content that you produce. You cannot pinpoint problems that keep you from further progressing and growing your channel, then you're going to fall apart. If you don't have accountability, if you don't have consistency, if you don't have discipline, that means that you are a faulty engine. It sounds stupid, but you're the engine to your channel. You're the person that is running the channel. You're the person that brings value and personality to the channel. There's some channels, for example, that don't really have a main character. That's weird thing. I don't know. It's like, it sounds stupid, but like we're talking like you're a personal brand. You're a solo content creator, and that's your personal channel. You're the only person running it. Then you're the person that needs to keep it running, because if you don't hold yourself accountable, if you don't stay consistent, if you don't hold discipline, then your channel is going to fail immensely fast. You're going to realize, oh fuck, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm giving up. And accountability is consistency. It's going to take months. It's going to take a while for you to get to the point where I'm at, for example. To get to the point where I'm at right now, it took me months, weeks, years of studying. This year, after 5 years on being like, I was on YouTube for 5 years, and this year was the first time I managed to get a video with 1 million views. Not a long form video, but a short form video. This year was the first time I figured out that you can only succeed through consistency and actual effort. Because if you don't put in effort, if you don't put in your passion, if you don't put in your authenticity, or if you don't actually care about your channel, we're talking like you're just like, oh, I will just do it like maybe like once every, like, I mean, if you have fun like uploading like maybe twice a year or something like that, then so be it, But like if you don't expect like crazy results, is what I'm trying to say. Don't expect to blow up from uploading twice per year, because if you will blow up, then what the fuck? Who's gonna remember you in 6 months? It's gonna happen so fast and you're gonna get left behind. The internet ages a lot, the internet moves on a lot, and you have to adapt, change, and learn every single day to kind of compete with that knowledge. And it's a whole huge thing to get into. And this is why I decided to create this course, and this entire YouTube series is to help creators that were in my position, that were struggling to get their foot in the doorway and actually have a chance to compete with other channels or even see some sort of success. I never grew a channel to like millions of subscribers, hundreds of thousands, but I've talked to many creators with millions of followers, with hundreds of billions of views, and I have learned a lot over the past 6 years, and I decided to share that knowledge with you and how I went from this one person that would never be able to edit a video, who doesn't have the patience to sit down for 2 minutes to edit a video, to a person that's able to do multiple tasks per day, hold themselves accountable to a schedule, runs a business, a YouTube channel, and this course at the same time. I basically went from a person who had zero work ethic, zero patience, zero consistency, zero accountability, zero discipline, to a person that has a pretty decent grasp of their life. So I hope this course is definitely going to help you, because again, I remember the times when I struggled as a creator, and the reason I made this course for free, I'm uploading it on YouTube, is because I want to help creators. I want to help you actually have the chance to succeed on this platform, because I know there's many talented people that never get the opportunity to actually accomplish their dreams. And I want to make sure that you also have a chance to do well and your voice gets heard, basically. I'll see you guys in the next part of the course. All right. Welcome back to the content creation course. I appreciate you for being here in the next episode. Today, we're going to be talking about content creation equals business. So first off, I want to make it clear, content creation doesn't automatically mean that it's the same thing as business, but a lot of aspects that I learned from business apply to content creation as well. For example, if you're going to go into a very general audience, for example, I grew up in Minecraft, like I chose a really generalized way to make content on there. Just funny moments Minecraft, which is a super generalized thing. That's a huge genre. For example, that's like you making a website and then like the SEO, the search engine optimization, the tags, your blogs are more targeted towards those high volume search areas. For example, let's say, what is the thing that gets talked about a lot right now? For example, AI. That's me like targeting the niche AI on Google search for my website to appear in there. And you can see how that is kind of, if you want to grow in that niche, it doesn't really work like that. So before you start YouTube, before you start anything, you have to ask yourself the following questions. And I made a little PDF for that a while back, not too long ago. I'll probably drop it into the description of this video. I'll open it up real quick for you guys. So before you start content creation, there's a few questions you should ask yourself. And the first one would be, what is your channel's mission? Why are you starting this channel? Why, like, for example, you need to be passionate about the channel. You need some sort of personal connection. If there's no personal connection, if there's no goal to your channel, then you're not going to be passionate about uploading, because passion plays a huge role. The reason why I started my agency, for example, a year ago, was because I used to be a creator that struggled a lot when it came to content creation. There were so many things to learn. So many things. Editing, design, so many issues I made along the way. And again, I didn't learn a lot. I did learn, but again, there would have been so many more better ways to do this. So, for example, that's why I started my agency, to give the people first step, to give the people basically a step into the doorway, or like to kind of help them out, get that first step and actually have a chance in the competitive area that's YouTube right now. For example, there's a lot of Mr. Beastification happening, a lot of competitivity and everything like that. Again, main purpose, for example, for me making this series right now, for example, same thing applies for the series. The reason why I'm making the series is to help creators who are struggling to get their foot in the doorway, like people who are really struggling to get started or know where to start. There's a lot of things you need to learn. And there's a lot of things that, for example, people need to learn before they can start with this, for example. And again, my mission, for example, of this YouTube series is to help creators out who are struggling. There you go. Let me write something down real quick. Cut this out, please. Future me. There you go. I just had to add something to the course, like a little topic that we should talk about later on. So the next thing, the next one would be, for example, what your channel's niche will be, what niche you want to work in. What is your channel's product? Obviously, your videos, or like maybe you want to like increase more sales for some product that you're selling. I don't know. For example, that's something that you can do. What's your channel's product? What makes your product attractive? For example, why should people watch your video? Or like, why should people even, like should be interested at all in your product that you're selling, for example? Why you started your channel to begin with? Same thing as the mission, but like, does it have like a deeper connection to you, for example? And what makes you different to other people who are making the same content in your niche? Why should people exactly watch you? Or like, for example, if you were next to Mr. Beast, why should people click on your video instead? Like, compared to Mr. Beast, why should people click on you? So something that makes you stand out from the crowd, because in the end of the day, your goal is to not blend in with the other videos. It's to pop out and actually like make an impact. And for example, what is your target audience? These are things that are important in business, but also in content creation. And these are like kind of the foundation, So that's really cool. For example, again, what's your target audience? Who's the ideal viewer that you want to attract? Because like, I mean, if you make, let's say, DIY videos, for example, one of my mentees that I recently started working with, for example, makes DIY content. And the thing is, what happened here was, it's a little bit strange to say, it's a little bit weird, is they're targeting, for example, or their videos that they made in the past were targeting Minecraft people, but they are trying to go into the DIY scene. So there may be this lack of growth, or if they're targeting Minecraft people, then they may not be interested in DIY, meaning that they may be getting less watch time. Their videos are going to get a lot of views, but not a lot of like watch hours, for example, meaning that the videos tend to perform worse, That's just an example. I don't really know a lot of examples on top of my mind right now, but for example, that's a thing there. And again, from these questions that I had laying here, for example, I kind of look into the questions, if you don't have a channel's mission, the importance, and here it is why it's so important. A mission defines your purpose, the channel's niche, specifies the content focus, aiding in audience targeting, knowing which audience you need to target for them to really like your content. Your channel's product importance identifies the content as a product and sets expectations, for example. For example, what is the product that you're really trying to get out there, For example, like e-commerce, you're selling a product, you want to get it out to certain types of people. I mean, if you sell fidget spinners, but then target it to like people that are 80, then no one's going to want to have it, So for example, what makes your product stand out? Maybe it's cheaper, maybe it is more affordable. Like, why should people use your product? Why should people exactly buy from you, but not from the person next door, for example? Why did you start your channel? Again, provides context and authenticity to your content, kind of like a deeper connection, as I said again, because some people start YouTube and then they don't have like, that sense of connection to that thing that they made, Again, sometimes, people make like cash cow channels, which, for example, are supposed to generate money. That's understandable, Some people, that you don't need like a personal connection to that, for example, but it does kind of play a bit of an important role. What makes you different? Again, you don't want to blend into the crowded space. You want to stick out. You want to have people notice you. What makes you exactly different? And 7 would be your target audience, the ideal person who you want to watch your video specifically. And then your goal is to target it towards that. I mean, again, you can kind of double check that, that ideal persona, ideal ICP, ideal customer persona. It's like some business term that I just had, and I don't know why I did that, but I just wanted to get it right. But for example, again, just so you have a foundation, what you need to do so that you know what you need to do to get a specific viewer into your channel or interested in you at all. And this is not really, and I'll say this with pure honesty, you don't really need this. If you want to make YouTube content for fun, make it for fun. No one is stopping you. But I'm saying if you want to see yourself succeed, these are things that you're going to need, because you cannot expect to get a billion gazillion views off videos that are just not like even attracting the right people, It's rough, but I mean, if you're doing it for fun, do all you want. But I see a lot of people that want to actually succeed, and it's just like, usually they skip the foundational steps and they think, oh, let's just start making videos, which is great. They're taking action and starting to create videos, but they're going to lose the fuel, the power, the passion, the motivation in a week or two, because they realize, oh, it's not as easy as I thought it would be. Just an example there, for example. So again, coming back to the point where I was a moment ago, content creation is a lot like business. There's a lot of similarities and a lot of questions that you ask yourself in business. For example, where are problems? How do I solve these problems? And so on. We're going to be covering over the next few videos, but that's just something I wanted to mention. Treat content creation like a business, because you're the person running it. You're the lead. You're the engine of your channel, and no one else is. You decide where your channel goes, and if you decide to just make a few videos here every single 2-3 months, don't expect it to go anywhere, because you're not in control. You need to take control for you to take your content anywhere. And that's that. And in the next few videos, we're going to be covering those foundational things that I just spoke about, for example, things like content creation equals business. What do I exactly mean with that? What's your job as the leader? For example, how do you actually problem solve? How do you find problems in your content? And how you can actually identify issues, what kind of investment you want to make, either time or money. You need to invest some sort of time or like some sort of money into your content to like automate it or something like that. It's hard for me to say, but for example, you need to put some sort of effort in some degree. If you can't afford an editor, for example, to make your videos, then you need to make the videos yourself to see your content go anywhere. And that's gonna take some sort of time investment, for example. You need to hold yourself accountable. You need consistency, you need discipline, and you need to have like a lot of organizing skills to keep everything tidy. Have your work be straightforward and easy to do for yourself, because some people make it really inconvenient for themselves and all that other stuff. And that's gonna be the stuff that we're gonna be going across in the next few parts of the video. My goal is to foster growth again, as I said. There's no step-by-step framework to follow for you, but if you solve that foundational problem that you have, then I can guarantee you that you're gonna make it way further than a lot of other people. I'll see you in the next video. Today, we're gonna be talking about your job as a leader or a content creator. What is your actual job? What do you have to do? There's a whole list that we're going to go over. A lot of the things I'll be telling you about that your job is as a creator is from the book Investment Guide by Robert Kiyosaki. His book series actually plays a huge role in content creation as well, and a lot of things I learned from business, as I said, plays a role in content creation as well. Your job as a creator, and I'll tell you this, is to market your content. Again, you're doing multiple things here. Your product is your videos, and you have to market those and actually get those to the algorithm. So marketing as a creator is to design thumbnails. That means you have to design a few things here and there. The product thumbnail, technically like a product picture or something for your video content, which is your product in the end of the day. So 1, 2. You have to, of course, SEO, basically search engine optimize it so that you have the highest odds of like maybe landing on the browser page. Well, depends on like which algorithm that you're really working with, Some people don't really focus on that stuff, they just upload the video and let YouTube do the rest with the algorithm for example, suggested videos. But for example, I had a video that I did research for, and thanks to my research, the video blew up because I used great tags, low competition, high volume. So SEO would be a part of the role. You have to edit those videos, which means you have to, of course, produce the content or like, produce your product, for example. I mean, like those factories, where they make those like maybe some sort of candy, like M&Ms, for example. I don't know. It just came on top of my mind. You have to produce that. You have to produce your content, which is task number 4. And yeah, you have to also produce the raw video, which is not a task for you. You have to actually direct and also prepare your video ideas and everything like that. That's also not a task. Blah, blah, blah. You can see how this is all adding up. You as a leader have a lot of tasks on your hand, which is organizing, planning, design, editing, marketing, SEO, and so on. You have a lot of different tasks, and those tasks that I just mentioned, pretty much all of them as a content creator. But again, also strategy. But again, it's like those tasks, as I said, again, just to go through them again. Editing, design, SEO, research, strategy or strategizing, production, automation, and so on. I mean, again, you don't really need it if it's like a personal channel and you just want to have a good time, then do whatever. But again, if you want to see yourself grow, then that's something that you have to look into if you want to see continuous growth and future growth as the months go on, and you have a lot of tasks as a leader. You have to basically organize your workspace and everything like that. So again, keep this in mind. You're the leader. No one's going to do that for you. If you have a messy editing folder or like you don't have any files like sorted out, do that. You have to, your goal in the end of the day is to make your work as easy, as efficient, and as good as possible. Meaning that that even includes like hiring people for your team, automating certain tasks. For example, let's say you want a folder created every time you have a new video idea. Let's say you do something in Google Sheets, you automate something with another tool or something like that, and you use another tool to maybe upload and schedule multiple videos at once. Things like that to just make your work life easier, Everyone has to do that. Everyone has to go through that planning. And again, you are the leader. You are the engine. No one else is going to start your channel for you. You have to take care of that. you have to take care of your editing folder, if your sources are all cleaned up and everything like that, if everything is or anything is in the wrong spot or something like that, you have to take care of it. No one else will take care of it. You're the engine to your channel. And these are just I guess these are most of the things that is your job as a creator for content creation. I think I pretty much went into that a little bit. I don't want to go into each topic because that's like that's like a field for each thing that you have to learn. But your job as the leader is to learn about those fields, find experts, network, talk to other creators, brainstorm anything you can. You need to grow your communication and all the other things, your team communication, your marketing, everything. Those are all things that you have to learn as you do this. This is just like, again, this entire course here, as I said earlier, or in the other videos, this is all just this is kind of like a groundwork. This is kind of an idea of what you need to learn so you can, like, for example, like increase each of those skills that you need. And this is not like a framework that you can follow to succeed, but this is definitely a great step in the right direction. If you know what you need to learn, and there's nothing in your way, nothing. You can look up a course, you can get a mentor, maybe from LinkedIn, that knows about that space. Maybe you can network with some other creators or join some YouTube Discord servers that are all about content creation and stuff like that, and kind of talk to more people there. You have a lot of options. And again, this is like the framework that you can kind of use. I'll definitely put a PDF together and then link it in the description that you guys can go off. It's gonna basically list up everything nicely that you need to learn. I feel like that'll be a great idea. So future me, if you're editing this, please, before you upload the video, do that, because that's actually kind of cool. So I'll make a little list for you guys that you guys can go through. Maybe some skills that you need to learn. Like, for example, I'll just make like a 10 list thing: marketing, sales. Sales is kind of business. Sorry. Communication, team communication, automation, marketing, design, and so on, editing, and blah, 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 blah. Find your way into content creation, which will definitely help you a lot. All right. Welcome back to the course. Today, we're going to be talking about personal development, the next section of the course, which I have been waiting for so long, because this one is huge. So personal development that I talked about in this course got me the furthest when I started to break down issues I had. For example, me staying consistent, or taking accountability, or organizing myself. After I fixed all of these foundations, I started seeing a lot of results and a lot of upwards movement when it came to my work and everything like that. When you actually start putting the effort in, you'll start to see a lot of things change. A lot of people struggle kind of learning new things or kind of getting a grasp of new things. There's these foundational problems that start within ourselves, which is really stupid, again, as I say, but like, again, you're the engine of your content creation career. So you got to take accountability, discipline, you got to be consistent, you got to be organized and everything like that, all of that beautiful stuff. So we're going to start with accountability. So first off, anything that happens to your channel, if it was your fault or not, is your accountability. You have to take care of it. You have to figure it out. Everything from taxes, IRS, maybe even copyrights, whatever. I don't care if your video flops, it does well or not. It's all in your hands. Because you know what happened today again? Again, this channel where I have a lot of subscribers. Listen, usually I always told myself, oh, my videos always flop. The algorithm is at fault. When I actually started uploading consistently, my video that I posted today in a singular day got 1,000 views. And then again, just today, it got another 400 views. And no, listen, you got to hear me out here. I did no magic tricks. I just simply edited the video. I made it entertaining. I was passionate about it. I had fun, and people saw that and they watched the video. That video garnered me like 19 subscribers, which is super cool as well, by the way. This is from a singular video, by the way. That is so neat. I think that is so cool to me. And I like, honestly, a lot of people don't take accountability for the things they're doing, For example, accountability means like, if you're not happy with your growth, that you see that, and then you do something about it. And you're like, okay, something's wrong with the thumbnail. Like, for example, the average YouTube thumbnail can gets around like 10% impressions, or like CTR. Mine's at around 6%. So if I pumped that up by 4%, I would be sitting at around 1,600 views or something like that. I don't know. Is that accurate? That seems pretty accurate. Yeah. And I'm missing out on like 400 views. Like, if you like kind of tweak and mess around with those things foundationally, you'll start to see bigger results, you know. Let's say I got 1 million views on this video. I would be probably, let's say 1.6 million views and 6% would have clicked on it. That would have been like 1.2 million views. I don't know, probably even less. Basically upping my numbers by 4%, you know, basically another quarter of amount of views. Like that was an extra 50,000 views I got just from changing my thumbnail that I am missing out on right now. I don't know how many of those would convert into subs, but I would definitely tell you it's probably like, I mean, let's take 120,000. That would maybe be like 1%. That would maybe amount to around 120 subs, probably around 1,000, something around that area. You're basically missing out on a lot of growth just by tweaking the thumbnail alone. By tweaking the thumbnail alone, you're basically able to really like excel your growth, like really increase it, by the way. Like for example, like those 400 views that I gained today alone got me like 5 subs, which isn't insane numbers, but again, we're talking like a bigger scale. That is kind of huge. That is huge. Those 4% can bring you even further. Let's say you tweak that up to like 20%, for example. I mean, let's take that 1.2 mil again, which is so random. I'm just like, I'm actually just curious at all. Like that's pretty much that. Let's do like 20% of that. That's like again, that's double the views. That's insane, dude. That's crazy stuff right there. And that's just from tweaking the thumbnail alone. You would already like do yourself like a huge favor. Take accountability for problems that you're facing and then try to understand them and find a solution for it. Because again, you're going to find a lot of boundaries and a lot of things that are holding you back as a creator on YouTube, but you can overcome them. It's so possible. Anyone can do it. You can do it. You just have to take accountability if it's your problem, if it's your fault or not. For example, I mean, when my agency started, I wasn't sure if it's going to succeed because I really like lacked, I don't know how to say this. I kind of lacked the amount of income. Or like I did, usually streamers or like the people that I worked with didn't have enough money. And instead of complaining about them not having enough money and then like turning everything upside down, I got myself a salesperson. I talked to the salesperson and they said, you have the right idea, but like I'm learning from them how to improve those sales things, you know. Sometimes those issues that you're facing aren't necessarily issues. You're probably doing it wrong. Just like look into the issue, take accountability. Don't blame anyone else. Don't blame your viewers. Don't blame the audience that you have targeted. Don't blame that your audience is this an X amount of like viewers. The algorithm doesn't care, bro. Like barely any viewers from my channel watch my long form videos and yet they're still doing amazing. Like you tell yourself lies and that is like the biggest fucking like fuck up you can ever do. You can start telling yourself lies and you might believe them and then you're not gonna fix that issue for a while until you start realizing, oh, maybe there's something at fault here. So that's one thing. That's accountability for you. I can help you with accountability. I don't think I've necessarily a tool that could definitely help with accountability. Again, best thing I can do though is just tell you this. Do you want to be a successful creator? If the answer is yes, then you need to have accountability. If it's no, then you can pack up because again, like no one's going to be interested. I don't know how to say this. It's like you just got to look away from problems, you know, that are there and everything like that. Again, you're the engine. And if you give up and if you start to say, oh, I don't care, well, then your shit's going to, everything's going to flop. Everything's going to go to shit. Again, accountability is something that you have to learn. So I guess maybe something that you can start doing today. If you have a problem, instead of like denying it, try to solve that problem. If it's something like small, like let's say you struggle with an issue, let's say for example, you don't eat too healthy, maybe try to eat an apple a day, for example. Like if you hold yourself accountable to that one apple, that also has something to do with consistency, which we're gonna jump to in a second, but like then that's good. Then you're able to problem solve. Do like little things. You don't have to do a lot, but start with those little things and then build it up over to that YouTube channel stuff and everything like that, where you actually have to start problem solving. But consistency, so this is the next topic we're going to talk about now. Consistency, I have a lot of tips. Every single channel needs consistency. If you don't upload consistently, well then, I don't know how to say this. You're gonna have a really weird growth. For example, your channel is gonna spike in a day with a bunch of views, maybe from that one video, it's like maybe 100 or something, but then it's gonna go back down. There is nothing to build up on. I don't know how to say this, you know, algorithmic wise. Let's say you're a streamer, if you're not consistent, then you're not gonna consistently grow. Simple as that. If you're a streamer, if you stream on Twitch and you stop streaming, then who the fuck's gonna stream? Fucking Zeus? Fucking Jesus is not gonna stream for your ass, bro. It's your channel. It's your channel alone, and you gotta try to stay consistent with it. And if you don't, then simply don't expect it to go anywhere. With YouTube, it's like a little bit nicer because if you have a video do well, or let's say you have one good video, it can get you a consistent amount of views, bro. But let's be honest. Let's be honest, little dude. You need to build up that consistency, because again, running a YouTube channel is like running a business. You need to plan your things out. You need the consistency to edit a video. You need to sit down and edit multiple times per day, a little bit every single fucking day. You cannot say no to it, because listen, YouTube is all about consistency. You're trying to build up a community. You're trying to put out there, you're trying to put content out there. You're trying to accumulate a community. If you fucking upload one video and then you don't upload for 8 months, bro, that video was worthless. You can put that video the fuck away, because like, again, most of my viewers are not from my subscribers, and you're absolutely right about that. But still, you are trying to create a wave of content. For example, let's say you're trying to make a passive income from YouTube. Like, you want to upload multiple videos, for example. If you stop uploading content, you're going to start dwindling down on money and stuff like that. You need to post consistently to have a consistent like income or growing or a following, you know, getting made here. It's hard to say. You don't necessarily have to upload a lot. That is true. You can upload every few months, but again, if you don't hold yourself accountable to a schedule in the end of the day, I mean, you can do super well on YouTube without uploading like a certain amount of time, you know. I'm not uploading like every few weeks and everything like that. But still, you need to hold yourself accountable to consistently do the work and edit the video and make the thumbnail and update your systems, make your workflow easier, everything like that. And if you're struggling with consistency, I have 2 things I can recommend you. I have a mentee that I actually taught a lot about consistency and everything like that. That's something that they're really struggling with. They don't upload a lot. So I gave them a few tips here. Here, I can recommend you one thing, which is again the time calculator. Secondly, it's the optimal success threshold PDF file that you can look at. That's going to show you a little bit of the baseline that you need as a creator to see some sort of success or like some sort of consistency. A goal setter to hold yourself accountable to your goals. The book Atomic Habits, that book changed my life. It's the second book I read, and I'm so glad I read it, because again, in that book, it tells you to, for example, like get a jar, put a marble in if you, each time you do something, or like each time you complete a habit that you set for that day, for example. I use a habit tracker on my phone app, by the way. They're like maybe $10 per month, and dude, it's insane. I'll tell you one thing. As soon as I write something in this app, if I write, okay, and this is going to sound crazy to you. Technically, in the end of the day, I end up doing the task, you know? Like, it all waters down to just me doing the task. But it's like a psyche or a mental thing. If I write something in this app that I've been following and doing for months upon months, my brain automatically puts it in the routine and I actually start doing the thing. It's stupid as fuck. I used to not like clean my room regularly. And then when I started when I wrote into my habit tracker, vacuuming, dusting the room and anything like that, I'm doing that on a weekly basis now, automatically. Because I started to get used to using the app. Everything. You have to like learn about yourself. You have to learn about the way you think, about your psychology. And again, the book Atomic Habits teaches you about that psychology and kind of shows you a few ways to like cheat it a little bit, you know? And it's an amazing book. And again, most of the things that I've listed here, the time calculator on Goal Setter, are definitely going to be huge help when it comes to like holding yourself accountable. One tip I can give you actually as well is if you have the Excel files, you're going to fill them out and then you're going to drop them into your startup folder. What you're going to do is you're going to take the Excel file, like the Google or like the fucking URL. You're just going to take the URL and then just drop it into that Windows startup folder. And what you're going to do is like just start it up. Every time your PC comes on, you're going to see that. So you're going to see that pop up and it's going to tell you these are your goals. And then it shows like, for example, like the time frame you have to complete it and everything like that. Super cool thing. Even holding a schedule like on Google Calendar, for example, every 2 weeks you want to edit every single day, for example, something on those lines. Even doing that alone is great. Just like hold a schedule, use a calendar. Those little tiny things like the little app, the little Excel file are going to be like little like reminders for you. I need to edit. I need to edit. I need to edit. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. It's like it gives you more organization in your life. Organizing, yeah, by the way, it gives you more discipline. It holds yourself accountable and it builds up that consistency. And again, those are like little tiny bricks. They're not a lot. They're like basically nothing. But each time you add another brick, it's going to turn into a wall. But it's going to be strong. You're gonna get a strong foundation, a strong wall. And it's hard to basically, like, once you have a habit, it works the same way with alcohol or bad habits. You're gonna have a good habit though, and it's great. It's amazing. And honestly, I recommend every single person to do that, what I just said basically. Also, I just got an idea how I can write down a few. I'm Google Calendar. I'm gonna write down a few things using you now, actually. Thank you. And that's that. Today we talked about consistency and accountability. And next time we're going to talk about discipline and organizing. Again, we kind of talked about organizing a little bit as well, but I think I'm going to do that too in the next video again. There we go. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about problem solving when it comes to content creation. So again, in the other videos, we mainly talked about figuring out those foundational things about content creation, you know, you being the leader, your jobs and anything like that. One thing that's really important when it comes to content creation is problem solving. When you do content creation, you need to understand there is a problem in this and that area. How do you do that? So your goal, of course, is to improve as a creator. So first thing that you're going to do, for example, let's say you notice in your statistics, again, this is like, you don't have to go that deep into content creation. Sometimes consistency is enough for you to blow up one day. But again, this is just like for safety measures. For example, you check out your click-through rate. It sits at around 10%. You suddenly notice a drop to 5%. Well, then that calls for you to look at it and do some research. Why is my video getting such a lower click-through rate than any other video? So you're gonna maybe talk to your friends. You're gonna be like, hey, this video I made is sitting at this amount of click-through rate. Your goal as a person who owns a channel is to talk to people, communicate, understand the problem, and figure out a solution to it. Talk to experts, again, networking, all that stuff. You are the engine. If you just let those issues go, then don't expect the issue to just suddenly get better or anything like that. For example, the other day, I noticed that my video click-through rate was pretty bad. So when I noticed that problem, one thing I did is I updated the thumbnail multiple times, actually. I made 3 different thumbnails and I tested each one out for a little bit. I know at around what time I changed the thumbnail and I can see the click-through rate change according to it. You are the engine to the channel. You have to figure out where the issue lays and why it's not working. So if you notice like a dip in views for certain video formats, then assume that you should maybe make less videos like that. Look at your comment section. If your comment section says, hey, I'm not really a big fan of those videos, more like those kinds of videos, like I like the other ones better. Again, a lot of people have passion with their content that they're making. And so stay true to yourself. But if you notice, hey, there's a path that aligns with my goals and their goals, maybe I can find a way to make it work both. Again, try to solve the issue that you're having in a way that your audience likes it and you like, so that no one's unhappy and no one's like upset or anything. Authenticity, of course, and everything is super important, and you shouldn't just change for your audience when they say they're not happy with something. You should make sure that you're hitting the right target audience, for example. You know, I mean, again, when you go onto YouTube, sometimes you can check out here, for example, in the research tab, you know, who are my viewers even watching? Where are my viewers coming from? For example, here, Combat Warriors, that's where most of my viewers are from, which is Roblox, basically. And so it aligns basically with the target game that I chose, which is in my case, Roblox, which is super nice. So you can just check if, like, for example, your ideal customer persona, ICP, also aligns with your content. Let's say, for example, you find that, or like you realize that, oh, this is perfect. You know, people around the ages of 25 to 18 really like my video. Or then if you see that, you know, a lot of like 40-year-olds are watching your videos, then you may be a little bit off with your content or something like that. Let's say that the people from the US don't really like watch your videos, then you need to bump that up. You know, for example, let's say you make English content or you make German content, but you get a lot of like, okay, this sounds really stupid, but again, just like making sure that you're really hitting your goals that you set for yourself and noticing when something's off. When you notice something is off, or when you notice, hey, how is my friend getting that high of a retention, but my videos are not? For example, an issue that I'm facing right now is my retention on my videos. If I check my most recent video, it's actually looking a little bit better, but again, that's because like I don't have a lot of views in that video yet that I just released. But for example, if I check my retention, it just basically snowballs slowly down to 16 to 15% at the very end. That's basically how my video goes down. It goes down like a snowball down to like 18%. Some of my friends, they still are at 30% at the end of their videos, which is still mind-blowing to me. I've never managed to do something like that before. And that's, for example, a problem that I have to look into. So what am I doing about it? I'm in a Discord server with a bunch of content creators, and I told them, hey, would you guys be down to look for my video and see where I can make some improvements to maybe increase that retention rate? I thought that I could only increase my retention by increasing the editing style, but they said, no, you can increase your retention by doing a lot less. Even like, you don't even need to do all of that, you know, to get to the point where you want to be. So communicating with people and actually like actively pursuing towards your goal, maybe even researching on your own a little bit, you know, anything. Problem solving is a hard thing, and sometimes it can take even months, weeks to finally get to the solution that you were looking for. But it's way better to look for a solution than to sit there and see your channel crumble or not going anywhere. Because in the end of the day, as I said in every other video, I mentioned it at least once, you are the engine to your channel. No one else is going to do your work. It's like YouTube does it, kind of. They pick your videos, you know, they pick them apart, see, oh, this person might like their video, this person might like their video. But still, it is your goal to improve it even further. And again, if you're fine with that and you just want to have a good time, then so be it. No one is really blaming you, you know? I mean, you choose your path, and if you're having fun doing with what you're doing right now, then so be it. That's great. But yeah, don't ask yourself if you're in the end of the day you're only getting like maybe like 50 views or 100. Don't be surprised if people are gonna be not happy or something, you know, if you get the point. But yeah, problem solving has a lot to do with like communication, research, action, a lot of different fundamental things as well. As I mentioned a moment ago, for example, there's a lot of fundamental things that you also need to figure out. As I said, you need to actually learn or teach yourself how to take action, staying consistent, creating habits, and so on. I always create habits, and I always like when if I have a goal in mind, for example, I wanted to start working out again. It's written down in my habit tracker, and I have it set for Monday and Wednesday. And I can definitely tell you, there were so many times when I quit working out for like a month or two, and then I got straight back into it. Like, I'm not joking. When I felt like working out again, I just got back into it. And I have a workout plan right here that I follow, and I stay true to it, and I stay consistent enough, and I hold myself accountable. All right, well, that's that then. I hope that the problem solving part helped you a lot. A lot of things, or like something that I can help you, or like some tools that could help you towards that goal is, when it comes to problem solving, connect with people, network with people. Networking is a huge thing, even in business, you know. I have a mentor when it comes to sales. I have a mentor when it comes to marketing. And again, just because I met that one marketing person, they helped me a lot getting clients and a whole bunch of other things, which is honestly so valuable. And sometimes I sit in calls with like content creators with millions of subscribers, and they tell me a lot about content creation and everything like that. And you learn so much just from listening, like, to what they're saying, and then like taking in the things they say, and then you putting them to action. So try to find a community to surround yourself with. You can use Discord for that, for example, and then be active in the community, chat a little bit in it, for example. And if that doesn't work, do research, look into your problem, maybe try to understand, you know, how to actually increase someone's retention on your video, you know, with low effort or something like that. Go on a subreddit for YouTube, for example, maybe ask a few people there. There's so many ideas that you can try right now, for example, that are free, and no one is stopping. You have to do it. If you want to see your stuff grow, then you have to make it great. Welcome to the next video. So this time we're talking about time or money. The truth is, every single creator has to invest something when it comes to content creation. And that waters down to two things: time or money. Of course, you will have to invest some sort of time to record your videos and actually like plan them out and stuff like that, and get ideas and everything like that. But we're talking like, which one are you going to invest? For example, a lot of people, if they don't have a lot of time, but they have money at hand, they to just get an editor to do it for them while they just record the footage. If you do not have any money, then you're gonna have to choose time. And if you do not have any time or money, then you need to either do something that gives you the opportunity to have more time for yourself, or you have to organize your stuff a little bit more. Because if it's not one of both, then you're going, the likelihood of you failing as a creator is going to be immensely high. We're talking that you'll probably fail. Like, you don't even get started, or you will fail as soon as you like try anything. It's really hard to say. If you don't invest time into your content, like you don't want to sit down and edit video content, well, then you don't have any footage, and you're not going to be able to build up an audience. If you do not invest your time into education, educating yourself regarding video creation, SEO, design, anything like that, then you're going to fail as a creator. You need to invest one of two things, and that's either time or money. I don't invest a lot of time as a creator. and I will tell you how much time I invest every single day. Maybe think 15 minutes about what video I'm going to make, what video pretty popular within my audience. In the next like 30 minutes, I'll record the video. Maybe like it takes me like an hour or two per day. I mean, again, and I record once, and then after that, I edit for 1 hour and 30 minutes each day, and that's it. 1 minute and 30 seconds of the video I edit, and by the end of the week, I have a 10-minute long video. And then I take a 1 week break, and then that cycle continues. You need to invest at least 2 hours or something like that as a creator every single day to maybe plan your video or something like that. You don't have to upload every single week. No one expects you to upload every single day, to invest always a certain amount of time every single day doing a thing. You do not need to work for 4 hours straight or edit your video for 4 hours. I used to not even be able to edit my video for 30 seconds because I had such a huge issue with my attention, my focus, my workflow, I didn't have any of those fundamentals that I showcase in this video, for example, none of them. And I couldn't do anything. So to get myself started with long form content and to finally overcome this issue I had for the past 2 months, I've been uploading every 2 weeks. And because I watered it down to, as I just said a moment ago, to 1 hour and 30 seconds per day, I record a video, I edit the video for a week straight, and then I take a break. And that's really that easy. You can do that amount of work that I just did. And for example, I mean, I can show it to you guys here. But for example, this channel here, again, I did upload prior on this channel. You can see it here. The short form content did super well, but I will show you and I'll disprove you that these videos are getting basically zero views from my channel page. So if people are going to say, but you have 5,000 subscribers, that's why people watch you. No, it's not true. Now we're going to click on traffic source. And here you have channel pages. How many views did I get on this video alone? 7. 9 people are from my channel, maybe 6 from notifications and all that other stuff. But most of my views came from the algorithm itself. So that easily already disproves that this is a skill. And again, you don't have to invest a lot of time. When I tell you you have to invest your time, I'm not talking like a gazillion hours. You need a bit of a routine. You need to make a little bit of a routine, stay organized, hold yourself accountable, and all those other things. So now, let's say you don't have money, so you choose time. Well, then simply you kind of figure out a nice little routine for you, which is something that you'll have to figure out on your own. But I mean, I used some tools to hold myself accountable, which I do share in this course later on. For example, I can give you guys some files right now, for example, that I did put together at one point for the reason of helping other creators who are struggling with time management or something like that. So I got this great idea, like a financial statement. You basically kind of calculate how much money you have left after expenses, other things like that, assets. Are you gaining money? Or are you losing money and stuff like that every single month? And it's as straightforward as that. And recently I made a little Google sheet that you can calculate your time with, for example. This is just a little example. For example, let's say I sleep 8 hours per day. I can just do this. Okay, there you go. I have 16 hours left. I do not go to school right now. I do not have any work right now. I spend about 8 hours per day, for example, playing games or something like that. That's about what I guess. It's around that area. And then, for example, I work 4 hours a day on like multiple things. For example, my agency, my YouTube channel, for example, like that. And that means I have 4 hours left. That means you can either spend those 4 hours on your entertainment, so you can have more fun on that part. And yeah, so you can kind of allocate your time during your day with this little Google Sheets file. And you can kind of allocate your time a little bit more of that to see like, okay, am I really wasting that much time? Do I even have the possibility to take some time away? Let's say you have like, okay, this is kind of stupid, but let's say you have 25 hours is impossible. Doesn't make sense. There you go. Let's say you have 24 hours every single day and you spend it on entertainment. You spend 24 hours on entertainment. Well, then you could reallocate the time. You're like, hey, I spend so much time playing games, but look at me, man. I'm not really making any progress. I think it's time for me to take this a little bit more serious. Then you can allocate your time, for example. Okay, instead of playing games every single day, what I'm going to do now is maybe cut that down in half. That's just an example, but and I will put that in. I'll put 4 hours into work on the YouTube channel. That's just an example. Again, you don't have to do that many hours, but just a little idea for you. And then you can kind of allocate your amount of time, for example, you spend at work. Let's see if I have any other thing that might help you. Not necessarily. I do not necessarily have anything that could help you on more time things or anything like that. If you're struggling with time, of course, you can maybe like again, you have to kind of organize that yourself. It's really hard for me to help me to get more time for your YouTube channel, for example. That's again something that you have to figure out on your own, kind of. But that's the only tool I can really offer you right now. Of course, after this comes stuff like consistency. How consistently do you actually upload? How consistently do you like? That's all other things. That's personal development, and we're gonna get into that in this course, obviously, but a bit later on. Consistency, I have a lot of tools there that could help you on that part, for example. And again, you need that problem solving mindset. So if you struggle with your time, that again, the previous episode I made on that, for example, could definitely help you a lot there. Just so you know this, again, as I said, it's either time or money. And if it's nor money or time, then I'm sorry, you are not going to succeed as a creator. Simple as that. You're not going to succeed as a creator if you are too lazy, or like if you do not want to put something aside for you need to invest something, you need to put something in to get something. And again, this education part is super serious. And yeah, so if you have no time or money, well, money is one thing. You could maybe try to get a job. Sounds stupid from me, I know, but I'm being serious. If you do not have the time and well, you have the money, let's say you don't have any time because of work, well then you can use the money from work. Again, you have to put a little bit aside, for example, maybe $100 or something for an editor. They can get pretty expensive, and you can ask them to edit it for you, for example. Again, you don't need to do a lot. The bare minimum you need to do is like have maybe 2 hours per week to maybe record a video, send it over to the editor, get the video back. Maybe you need a thumbnail made. Let's say I've seen people on Fiverr, for example, that edit a video for $60, which is insane to me, honestly. You don't even need crazy editing. The channel I showed you has the simplest editing style in the world, and I can edit a video like that in a week. In a week. So what I'm trying to say is that you can do the same. You can hire an editor for $60, and then maybe for $10 get a thumbnail designer. You just make a description on your own if you do not have any time at all, and that's it. And you pretty much have completely automated your workflow on that part. You do not need to do anything else on your YouTube channel. You just need to record a video, upload it each time, and then maybe tell the editor, hey man, they didn't like this, they didn't like that. Can you maybe do a bit less of that and maybe do a bit more of this? Just an example. Or an editor that aligns with your editing style. That's just an idea. If you do not have any money, then you need to invest your time. And I gave you an idea how to fix your time issue. The money issue, I can just say, get a job or something. Maybe you need, and again, if you do not have any time at all to like do a job or anything, then it's going to get a little rough. I mean, honestly speaking, if you went into the time calculator, you calculated your time and you're telling me that you do not have a singular hour, or not even like 3 to 4, like not even 2 hours, even less, then I mean, I'm sorry for you. But like for the people that are saying, yeah, I have 0 time for that stuff, I mean, it's a little bit iffy. I'll take your word, of course, but you need to put something in. And if you cannot do that yet, then I guess wait a little longer. But again, let's say you have at least 2 hours to your name. Spend it on like recording a video. If you have a job, then you can use that money to even like just help you automate that work and have someone else do it for you. I think that pretty much covers everything. I do not have like an easy money guide. Don't do drop shipping. I don't know. Do drop ship. Do whatever you want. Do drop shipping or something like that. But weird subject. Weird subject. There's a lot of ways to make money online, and sometimes you need to put money in. I mean, for like my business, I had to put money in, for example. I mean, I struggled with money, so what did I do? I made an agency. I made a course that that people bought, and I managed to earn a few $100 from that to help me fund other things like that on those lines, for example. I had to do a lot of studying. Anyway, that's both of those topics covered. Again, it's not the best thing in the world. I wish there was an easier answer to what I just told you. The best thing I could do is offer you those 2 things. And again, from here on out, you're going to learn a lot about personal development, about certain things that are about the mindset of yours, that are going to help you a lot during your work as a creator, that are going to basically kind of level you up on that part. Stuff like accountability, consistency, discipline, organizing, and so on. Those things will definitely take you a lot further. They took me a lot further. Once I, again, went on that fundamental journey where I kind of learned a little bit more about myself, my work, and everything like that, I can tell you one thing, it changed my life. This may sound ridiculous, but like fixing those fundamental issues, everything from consistency to organizing, accountability, discipline, doing small little things like getting an app that tracks your habits, reading a book about habits, which I have, by the way. They took me so far. That book right there changed my life. I do not have it. I actually gave it to my neighbor. But that book changed my life, unironically, because if it weren't for that book, I would have zero accountability, zero consistency, and I would not be able to run this agency. This agency I've been running for a year, by the way, and it still hasn't blown up in some magical way because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of consistency and a lot of other things. And I can tell you, if you're going to figure out those issues, your life will definitely improve. You will realize it as soon as you make those changes and then you start actually taking those things into action. Like